Okay, so this is day two of raids. I'm on a tram right now, so forgive me if it's a bit noisy in the background. I feel like a lot of the changes that they made to it were actually not remarkably, weren't great, not that intelligent. See, I'm trying to farm for the bosses right now, right after I just told Seabiscuit that they come up all the time for me. Now they're not coming. Anyway, so one, I'll go back to that Kid Flash theory that I had, which was basically if you put Kid Flash in against one of the more powerful bosses, it'll give you more time so you can do more damage. Which, after I did like 30 battles with that and ended up with, oh, that's nice, and ended up coming to the conclusion that it is better. However, when it comes down to the raid with the bosses, for example, right now we have Star Sapphire, she's blue. It's better not to use Kid Flash in that situation just because he's an energy character, so he won't be able to do as much damage. But in every other scenario, he was working. Like the average before when I wasn't using him was uh, 10.2 to 10.5, and at the end of all the testing that I did, it ended up being 12.05 or something in the tops. So it ended up being worth it. Now, here's the complaint I have. They removed the MVP and the finisher rewards, which is fine. I guess the finisher one is fine. A lot of people were bothered by it. I didn't care. It wasn't that much of a reward, and it was something random, just something at the end of a hook for people to attack a character, but I didn't care about that. The MVP reward being removed changed the dynamic of the whole thing. So now if you see, I'm going against Alan Scott. I did not use any of the multipliers, and the reason for that is why should I? I did this, and actually I feel like I wasted about like 40 points of energy until I came to this conclusion, which is if you're not giving me an MVP reward, what I used to do was I would do at least 51% of damage just so I could get the MVP reward, and then share it out there for everyone else to finish it and get the other rewards. I didn't care about the finisher. I didn't care about any of that other stuff. Well, now if you tell me that with doing 1.287 damage, I'm gonna share the boss. That I get the same amount that I would if I were to finish him completely, then why am I gonna waste the extra in here? I'll show. I guess we can do it with Sinestro. I'll show. If I use two, yeah, okay, fine. I could easily take him out. But why am I going to use the extra energy to take him out when I could just do a little bit of damage and get the same reward? So, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. And then in turn, that changed my entire thought process, which was I was going to use all the milestone rewards to try to boost up the White Lantern Sinestro so I could get more damage going into the third day of raids, etc., etc. But no, I'm not going to waste my time doing that now because it's the same amount of rewards. It's pointless. Um, Now, what I do is let me see, is that one, see, look, now I can jump in on this fight really quickly with one energy. I'll actually be able to finish this one. I won't get a finisher reward because there isn't one, but I'll get the same amount of points that I would if, I think here, how much damage? That's 90,000. I did 90,000 in damage. Okay. And now I'll get the full 45,000. I mean, okay. That doesn't seem fair, but it is what it is. And so I'll take that. So that was a full 45,000. Now let's see if somebody else finishes off this Alan Scott. In the meantime, we'll go here. And so now when I go against her, now for my alliance bosses, because it's for my alliance, I always use the 3 multiplier just to do as much damage as possible. But I think removing the finisher, I mean, fine either way. I always thought it was random, and I don't know why people got so uptight about it. But okay, if you don't like it, it's not a big deal. Removing the MVP one, I think, was a big mistake because now there's no incentive for me to use any more energy. I don't have to buy energy or try to farm for energy or anything like that. I just, have the energy that I had from those couple of packs yesterday, and I'm willing to bet that I won't even finish that. I think I have like 100 and something left, and that's with me wasting 50 or 60 points of energy until I figure this whole thing out. So, I don't know. I feel like the gameplay itself has improved. I'm not getting as many lagging issues. There aren't as many issues with the bosses dropping, except I have one person in my alliance whose drop rate is terrible. So if you have a terrible drop rate, let me know. This time when I tried to fish for bosses, um, I didn't get a great drop rate, but it was still at least like what, one every four, one every three, maybe, if you average the whole thing out, one every four. So, I don't know. Now I'm just waiting to let this finish so I can go back to that Alan Scott. This tram is loud. I hope it's not interfering with the sound. And I also heard the comment someone say like the way that this format is now, it feels less grindy, like you don't have to grind as much. And this is the thing I never got. If you don't like grinding the game, then just don't grind the game. Like, I don't understand what the difference is. Because for those who don't want to grind, they don't grind. And for those who do like to grind, they do. And so, if I grind out the game now, if you want to keep up with me, you're going to have to grind in some way, shape, or form. You're going to have to invest that. And so now we come back, and I think Alan Scott should be done by now. Yeah, claim the rewards for the Alan Scott I attacked and did little too. And it's the same reward as the one before, except I got a scout bonus of 1 alliance energy. So yeah, and I think, well, I know this will be my approach for the 3rd day for the raid bosses, because none of those bosses I'll be able to beat, but I'm not going to boost up any of my characters now because I don't need to. And then do a little bit of damage, put them out there, let them get finished. And I guess if that was the goal from the developers, to just have everyone sharing, cool, mission accomplished. But I don't know. I guess if everyone's sharing, everybody gets to share in it, I guess more people would be happy. But to me, I would prefer the MVP. So far with this raid, I haven't been grinding as much, so the guy was right about that. The energies, the raid energy isn't dropping, so I guess maybe he was right. I'm not playing it as much, but at the same time, I got really upset with the last raid, so I'm not investing as much either. I'm not putting as much of my time into it. Plus, it is my daughter's birthday this weekend, so I got other stuff to do. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me likes the changes that they made to the whole structure. I just wish they would bring back the MVP reward. That's about it. If, well, yeah, in my view, if they bring that back, then it gives you incentive to finish out a fight, use more energy, use more multipliers, and you can climb the milestones that way. Anyway, that's my day 2. I'm kind of enjoying it. It's okay. It's not as tiresome as it was before. So maybe the people who were talking about changing it so it's not as grindy are right. But I don't know. I feel like the removal of the MVP reward really shifted how raids work, and not sure. No, I am sure. I'm not a fan of that. Bring the MVP back.